Welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane K. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives Season 6, Episode 10, Polygamist Marriage Therapy. The episode opens with Cody explaining that the adults in the family see a marriage therapist. They had a therapist in Utah. She specialized in polygamist families, Pat, and now they want to see a therapist in Vegas. Janelle knows that the family structure is inherently complex, so she likes going to therapy. She feels that a counselor helps them prevent turning mountains into molehills. The family really wants a counselor who is local to Vegas. So they found Nancy, but Nancy isn't too experienced in plural families. So the adults in the family, are going on a retreat with their former therapist, Pat, and their prospective new therapist, Nancy. The Browns do an introductory meeting with Nancy, and Nancy's primary objective is to find out what the Browns want from her. So first they do a personality test, and this personality test could be the one Robin refused to admit that she took. I don't think it's the same one, but it could be. But they take a personality test here so that Nancy can determine what each of the Brown adults are about, what their personalities are about. Cody explains that most plural families won't go to therapy. They fear that a therapist will tell them the problem is polygamy itself and the lifestyle. But Cody wants to improve things supposedly with his wives, so they're all going to therapy. Now, Cody's main objective, of course, is for the wives to get along better with each other. He doesn't want the focus on him. But of course, Nancy knows what the problem is right off the bat, and I think the wives are there because they want Cody to communicate better with them. And of course, they want better relationships with each other. But the primary objective here is really Cody, I feel, and the way he interacts with his wives and the way his wives react to his behavior. They take these assessments. Mary doesn't like it too much. Cody feels that stereotypically an educated woman in the field of psychology, a career woman, an independent intellectual woman, they might be a feminist. They might be a threat to the very idea of their family, the idea of plural marriage. So Cody fears automatically that an educated, intelligent woman would say that polygamy is the problem. Cody, right off the bat, stereotypes Nancy, and you could tell he's intimidated by her. It's interesting that Cody fears that Nancy is a feminist. Cody himself doesn't want to be stereotyped as a plural husband or for having a plural family. But notice, Cody is more than willing to stereotype Nancy and how he believes in his mind an educated woman, an intellectual woman, a therapist might react to polygamy. Cody is going in there already making up his mind that more likely than not, this woman is going to think polygamy is the problem and he is the problem. And he automatically assumes it's because she's a feminist and she's educated, and she's going to automatically assume he's the problem and polygamy is the problem. Cody knows he's the problem. He knows this is a strong, independent, intelligent, educated woman who isn't going to put up with this shit, who could possibly read him like a book and call him out. And Cody fears that. Robin is scared. She feels that women are more judgmental of polygamy and that lifestyle than men are. So Robin and Cody are both the ones with the most problematic issues in the family. They're the ones who make the dynamic the most difficult. And they're going into this being afraid that Nancy is going to read them like a book. Robin says women are more critical of polygamy than men. Cody's going in there assuming automatically because she's an educated woman that she's a feminist, assuming that because she's a feminist, or if she's a feminist, she's automatically going to write off the lifestyle. He is going in there assuming that this woman, because she's educated, because she's a career woman, because she's intelligent, she herself might be a threat to their family. So Robin and Cody, the two ones who will be read like a book most likely, who know they have a lot on the line, who know that a psychologist is going to know, a therapist is going to know something might be up with them, are saying, wow, we fear her. We're already going into this with these preconceived notions that this woman is going to be a problem because they fear her, because they know she might be able to read them. Now, Robin says most women feel that they would never share their man, and they wonder why a woman would ever do this. They wonder why polygamist women do this. And Cody is concerned about Nancy telling him he's the one who has to do all the work because he is the beneficiary of 4 wives. Cody doesn't want Nancy telling him he has to self-improve while his wives don't necessarily have to. Cody already knows he is a big part of the problem, in my opinion. And Cody is going in there already anticipating an issue, anticipating that this strong, smart, educated woman, the woman he is intimidated by, will tell him the truth about himself. That's what Cody fears. Cody isn't going there to improve, and Cody isn't going to improve. Cody is going there and he thinks his wives are the problem, and the majority of the problem is on them and their relationships. And he is going there for Nancy to focus on that and fix that to deflect from his own issues. Cody isn't willing to be inconvenienced by doing any work. He's going there to help his wives work on what he thinks are their problems, in my opinion. Nancy wants to know from the Browns what they really want to improve the most. Mary says communication, and Cody admits he's not good at that yet. No shit, he still isn't good at that. Christine mentions the family mission statement, and Cody explains they are working with the counselor. They're going to go on this adult counselor trip to Sedona to work on the mission statement, to work on things in the family. So Cody thinks that the family is going to try to inaugurate this mission statement into their lives with a celebration, a recommitment ceremony. And Cody wants help with it, and he thinks Nancy will be able to help them with it. Cody feels the real goal of being there is the mission statement. Nancy lets the Browns know she knows they're scared. Therapy can be intimidating. They might have to get vulnerable, but she really doesn't see how therapy could possibly make things any worse. And Robin reveals that she really doesn't trust Nancy. She's hesitant. She says Nancy needs to earn her trust for her to feel safe. She wants to know Nancy will bullshit her and let her play the victim, and that Nancy wouldn't dare to possibly read or like a book, basically. Robin and Cody, the two who cause the most problems in the family with their toxic behavior, seem to be the ones who fear Nancy the most. So Nancy is going to have to earn Robin's trust for her to feel safe. These two, Kotex and Goblin, they know they're the issue and they're scared Nancy's going to call it out. Next, we move to the Leo storyline. And Cody mentions how Leo got a scholarship. And instead of congratulating Leo, Cody complains in confessional how the free money was a lot less than he expected Leo would get. You know, most kids would kill for any scholarships at all. And Cody is complaining that this scholarship is less than he hoped for when Leo was lucky to get a scholarship at all. And Cody shouldn't be complaining about it. He should be congratulating them for that accomplishment. Cody complains about the expenses at Westminster. Westminster costs 4 times the tuition of UNLV. So with such a big family, Cody makes it clear they only have a certain amount of resources to give Leo. So Cody and Mary meet with Leo to explain the financial situation. And Cody asks Leo if they have gotten any additional scholarships. And Leo says not yet. And Mary tells Cody she's not going to give up on Westminster. She wants Leo to attend their dream school. So Cody asks what plan B is for Leo if they can't get enough to go to Westminster. So Leo says they're going to get a second job. But Cody isn't pleased with that. He says a second job won't even make a dent in this tuition. Leo had 2 jobs plus the scholarship. I'd say at this point they did all they could to make their dream come true. And if it's their dream to attend Westminster, it's not their fault that their dad had way more kids than anyone could ever possibly afford. So Cody should step up and help, especially when he sees Leo is trying with this. Cody worries with a second job, though, that Leo isn't going to have enough time to study. So Cody tells Mary and Leo that he doesn't have the luxury to just pay Leo's tuition for them. And of course, he can't take more from the family's financial resources or give Leo more than every other kid in the family. So Cody suggests that possibly Mary could take money from her budget as a wife. Mary, of course, isn't happy with that. We learn that the family hasn't sat down to have the conversation as a family about tuition and about how much each kid gets for tuition from the family's budget, because each kid obviously should get the same. Mary wonders how much was spent on Logan at this point because she isn't sure. To be fair, Logan went to UNLV as a resident of the state of Nevada. So he's getting in-state tuition. He's getting a much cheaper education. Westminster is private. It's out-of-state tuition. And each kid should get the same from the family's resources. And I think in Mary's case, she has one child and she can afford to cover some more of the tuition for Leo from her separate allowance as a wife. Now, Cody acknowledges that the family has never had this conversation about how much tuition money each kid should get. So he really thinks now is the time to be doing that. So Cody explains to Leo that Westminster is an expensive school, and he says it's the kind of school people go to who only have one sibling. I didn't think that was fair or appropriate. You know, Cody is the one who decided to have more kids than any human father could possibly provide for, tuition-wise or otherwise. So if Leo wants to go to Westminster, it's not fair to tell them it's too pricey, it's only for kids with smaller families and less siblings. That's not fair to put on them. They did not choose to be a part of such a huge plural family. And they should not be told, because you have a big family, this school isn't for you, this opportunity isn't for you. It's not fair. It's fair to say, get a scholarship, get 2 jobs, we can give you the same amount as all the other kids. And then it's also fair for Mary to help and cover some of the rest from her budget as a wife, considering she only has one child. But it's not fair to tell Leo, well, this isn't a school for someone from a big family, as if it's selfish for them to want to go to this school or to pursue their dream. I didn't think that comment from Cody was fair. And I don't think Leo is selfish to want to go to a more expensive school, considering they work, they got a scholarship, they try hard academically. So if you really see your kid giving it their all, doing all they can as a parent, you have to try your best to help them the rest of the way. And I get Cody saying no, not wanting to take out of the family budget more than every kid gets. Every kid should get the same. But I think Mary could easily step up and contribute some. Mary could also work as well. I think there are ways to make this work for Leo. So Cody tells Leo that Westminster isn't a school someone attends if they have 17 siblings. He goes on, he doubles down. He goes on to explain to Leo that this isn't just about Leo. That this isn't just about he and Leo and Mary as a family. It's about the whole family and helping all of the kids get an education. And Cody says he just refuses to take on the debt, and he really wants to be able to retire and not be in debt for 30 years after that. Leo is pissed, and they feel their dad is telling them they can't go to school. Cody says there's a how and a why, and it requires more than a job at a clothing store for $8 an hour. That's not going to cut it. Cody is such a dick. Leo is working hard. Leo is trying their best. Leo got a scholarship, and Cody didn't say, great job, I'm proud of you. Cody said, oh, it's less than I expected. There is no praise. There is nothing positive and reassuring. It's only negative. An $8 an hour job isn't going to get you there. I can't do this. I can't help you anymore. Your scholarship is less than expected. This isn't a school for someone with so many siblings. You're selfish. A second job won't do it. Everything negative, 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 when he should also be giving some positive reassurance as well. My opinion on this is Cody was behaving this way and communicating this way in the conversation because he wanted Mary and Leo to come to the conclusion that the only way to swing this is really for Mary to chip in from her wifely allowance. Leo's frustrated. Leo asks Cody what he wants them to do. And Mary feels the options are Westminster with a scholarship or UNLV with a residential tuition. She doesn't know what any other option would be. Now, Leo feels like Cody is telling them that they can go to UNLV as the only choice or not go to school at all. And Cody says he's trying to sit here and help her figure out how she'll be able to practically pay for school besides a job or a loan so she can focus on her studies and not be in debt. And Mary says she has desperately been trying to figure it out. She's saying she'll do whatever it takes. She's filled out paperwork for additional scholarships. And Mary assures Leo, no matter what, they're going to make it work. Mary says they will try. And Leo gets snarky. Leo says trying isn't good enough. They aren't going to try. They're just going to do it. You know, I think the family is going to give all the kids the same tuition from the family budget, and that's what's fair. Anything else they have to cover through scholarships or work or maybe from their mom's individual budgets, whatever it is. UNLV is affordable, and I agree all of the kids should have the same budget. And I think Cody knows that Mary has the same budget as the other moms with just one child to support and one tuition to pay. And she has a lot more disposable income than the other wives. So Cody knows, I feel, if Mary is willing to contribute from her money as a wife from that budget, the issue would be solved and then Leo could focus on school rather than working herself to the bone while she's studying. And I think Cody wants Mary to be willing to pitch in for Leo. And Mary is probably trying to see if she can get more money from the family pot. I don't think that's fair. Now, Cody knows 2 jobs at $8 an hour, it's not going to cover it. And the family can't give more. He has to be fair and equal with every child. He can't give more to Leo than they gave Logan. So the options are either more scholarships realistically or Mary does her part. Cody has to be fair with all the kids. And I think since they see Leo trying all they can, working, doing the scholarships, Mary could easily help her with some of her budget as a wife as well. I think it's the only option. I don't believe it's fair for the family to give more. And if Cody gives, he is giving from the family pot, giving more to Leo than all the others. And he can't do that. It's not fair and it's not right. But Mary can give more and she should cover what she can, in my opinion. I totally get why Cody can't give more financially to Leo than any other kid from the family pot. But I don't agree with how Cody was disappointed in Leo getting less than he hoped for the scholarship. I would be praising my kid, happy they are working hard, happy they are doing all they can. And I think he was rough with intention because he wanted to get a message to Mary so that Mary knew, don't expect extra from me or the family money. I just think Cody was a little rough with Leo, and I don't think that was fair. When really, there could have been some praise there. It's not easy to get a scholarship. There are so many kids who apply, and Leo got it. Whether it's less than expected or not, that's a big accomplishment. I think there could be praise there. But I really think he wanted Leo and Mary to understand the reality of picking Westminster and what it means financially for Mary and for Leo as well. Next up, Cody's custom jewelry he designed for each of his wives is finally here. Cody is bagging it up in gift bags to give this jewelry to each of his wives while they're all together just before they go on their therapy retreat to Sedona with their 2 therapists. Cody's nervous. He knows how picky each of his wives can be. He refers to them as finicky. Cody explains that each custom piece has his heart and soul instilled in it. Each piece is special. It's something special about each wife, and he doesn't want any wife to be jealous of another wife's piece. And he says he thinks the devil comes out when his wives compare. Mary gets the first piece, the Fidelis heart, and she says she loves it. But with the look in her eyes, I'm not too convinced. Maybe receiving jewelry from Cody reminds her of when he melted down her ring. I don't know. Janelle gets her tree necklace next. She says she loves it. She says she was floored. And she says she is in love with her piece. Janelle looks like she kind of likes it. Now, Cody explains to Janelle that because she is an earth element, he wanted something that represented that, the tree. Janelle likes the necklace and she says she feels it represents her marriage to Cody and that now that she's wearing his custom piece, that she belongs to Cody. Cody is loving the ego boost. He has a grin a mile wide as he tells cameras, as much as Janelle wants to be the independent woman, she knows that they're in a marriage and she likes having him be the king. The ramen-haired king of the prairie dog plaguelands. All hail King Kotex of the prairie dog plaguelands. Only in Cody's mind, of course, is he a king. We can all recall Cody shouting from the hilltops in later seasons that this is a patriarchy. And in Cody's warped mind, he's the king. He's the king without a court. And he, to this day, doesn't get why he wasn't respected and deferred to as the leader of this family. My guess is this man spent more time on his hair than he ever did on making these women feel seen and heard. And I'm sure these women know that if this man is so wrapped up in his delusions that he's the king of this marriage, if he is that wrapped up in himself and his ego that he overlooks his wives, that he overlooks his kids, there is no space in his head. There is no capacity there for him to be a leader. Cody can't even handle himself to be handling his wives as a husband, as a plural husband, or his kids as a father. But sure, if Cody wants to laugh and joke that he's the king of the castle in Janelle's world, okay. The second Cody screamed patriarchy, what's interesting though, is 3 wives took off faster than his hair. When he wanted to really be king and make this a dictatorship, and he demanded that of his wives, what did they do? They ran faster than that receding hair. Now, Robin is nervous to open her jewelry, and Cody tells Robin that he heard a song a while ago, a song that he and Robin both love, a song about a phoenix rising from the ground, and Cody feels there is no better phoenix metaphor than Robin. He says Robin was burned down by a bad experience, and she came out of it like a goddess. As Cody and Robin lovingly stare into each other's eyes, I can't help but think Cody had to give 3 of his wives gifts just to be able to give Robin her phoenix necklace that her love inspired in him. And Cody said Robin is the wife who inspired this idea. Cody went into this knowing what he wanted to do for Robin, and he just threw the other 3 wives in as incidentals. Robin's jewelry piece is very personal. It's inspired by a song that Cody and Robin both love. Pay attention. Mary got a necklace representing loyalty. It's not a necklace about her marriage. It's not about their love, their relationship, their marriage, something that means something to both of them. It's about Mary's loyalty, a quality in her, not necessarily a quality about their marriage, not necessarily about the marriage with Cody or their love or their relationship or something personal to them. It's a quality Mary has, a trait of Mary's. And let's not forget, Cody's initial thought was a dog, jokingly, of course, but when he thought of loyalty and Mary, his first thought was a dog, not the Fidelis heart. Now, Janelle got a tree. Again, something related to her being an earth element, her personality, her earthiness, her practicality. Something related to her and not her relationship with Cody. Christine got a fairy because she is light, at times she's ethereal. It's something related to Christine's personality. It's not really something relating to Cody and Christine and their relationship or their marriage. It's just a trait unique to Christine. Robin is the only wife who got a custom piece of jewelry that not only represented her, but her relationship with Cody and something they share together, a song they both love. That gift came from the soul. The other gifts were incidental. This gift was inspired by a song they both love that reminds Cody of her. And you can see exactly who the favorite wife is, and you can see who Cody is invested in. You can clearly see who he loves and where his heart lies. And it's clear when three women get pieces, custom pieces representing personality traits that are only representative of them as individuals. The designs have nothing to do with their love with Cody, their relationship, their romance, their connection, nothing. It's just their individual unique traits, nothing related to their marriages or their relationships with Cody. And Robin receives a symbol that represents her marriage, her soulmate relationship, her love, her connection, her marriage with her husband. It represents a song they both love, a song they share that reminds Cody of her. I wonder if the other wives even notice the disparity. Next, Christine gets her necklace, and her necklace is the fairy in a heart. And Robin isn't sure what it is, and she asks if it's a fairy. She wonders what it is. And for confirmation, Cody explains that it's a pixie. He explains he wanted a pixie in the moon to represent Christine. So he did a pixie in a heart with one side black, like the dark side of the moon. Robin is oohing and awing all over it. Oh my God. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, making a big show of how much she loves Christine's piece. And Christine doesn't look too crazy about it. She doesn't like the etching on the dark side of the heart. And Cody explains that that was the jeweler's idea to do that part. He doesn't want to be accountable for it. So the part of the necklace Christine hated is the jeweler's idea, not his. He wants it known. Now, Robin asks Christine if she loves it because Christine gives a lackluster reaction to this necklace. And Christine musters an, oh, it's nice. She doesn't really like it, and I don't blame her. I think here Robin is really doing her best customer service, and she's blowing smoke because she doesn't want Cody's ego to get rattled. And she's asking Christine, oh, do you like it? To elicit a response that would boost Cody's ego. And I think Robin is doing this so that later on, behind closed doors, she can shit talk about Christine with Cody, telling him things like, oh, she doesn't appreciate your custom necklace, and saying negative things about Christine. Oh, maybe she was ungrateful, things like that, to fill Cody's head with negativity and resentment regarding Christine. In my opinion, Robin probably did a lot of little things like that with Cody regarding Christine, Mary, and Janelle to breed resentment in Cody behind the scenes, allegedly. Just in my opinion, it's possible that she did that a lot behind closed doors to sway Cody against them. Now, Cody asks Christine if she likes it. And in confessional, Christine says she likes half of the necklace, but not the etching. And Christine explains she feels the etching is too harsh. And in my opinion, Christine is right. The etching just makes it look cheap and harsh and rough. And Cody tells Christine that she is the one who inspired the necklace. So Christine apologizes. She's sitting with Cody in confessional, and she apologizes for not liking the piece. And Cody tells her he still loves her. It's cool. Cody tells Christine that she will just inspire him to do more. And Cody insists he can do it. He can get it done. Yeah, Cody talks a big game. He says he can get it done, sure. Did Cody ever make Christine a piece that she actually liked? 100% my guess is no. He couldn't get that done, just like he couldn't make it to his kid's major surgery. Cody can't do it. Cody can't do anything if it's not something where he's in the limelight and it's advantageous to him. Cody hates being inconvenienced, in my opinion. And I think the only reason he did this was to show, look what a good guy I am. Look how thoughtful I am on camera. I love how Cody says, oh, I'm going to get it done. Like he's definitely going to design something that Christine is just going to be in love with. When have we seen him do this? When have we seen him really make an effort for Christine? He says in words, he'll say a lot of things in words, but when do we see the actions? Next up, Cody and his wives are headed to Sedona for the family therapy trip with their former therapist, Pat, and their new therapist, Nancy. So, Pat was the family therapist in Utah. The Browns love her. Pat has known the Browns for 5 years. So, she's not a polygamist, but she has studied polygamy when she began working with the Browns. So, Mary tells Pat that Leo's going to go off to college. So now her biggest challenge is figuring out who she is. So Mary says when she first started seeing Pat, she and Cody had decided at that point that they needed a therapist to work on their communication skills. So Mary was nervous about seeing a monogamous therapist. Pat gives some insight on the Browns. She says the Browns are, as they appear to be, complicated and sometimes troubled. Pat says there were angry voices, there were tears, but over time, she feels many of those issues were resolved. Were they though? I don't think so. Now, Mary realizes that Pat was about the relationships and the relationships being healthy, the relationships functioning. Pat wasn't about the focus on polygamy. She was just about improving relationships. So Mary thinks if Nancy has that same approach, it's going to go well. So Pat is really worried about the retreat. She knows not all of the family is open to working with Nancy. Not everyone likes her, i.e. Robin and Cody. So Christine isn't looking forward to Sedona. She thinks it's just going to open a huge can of worms, never to be closed again. Maybe Christine was right. She always knew what was brewing just beneath the surface. Even before Robin came into the family, she called it all. She called it all. She said she was afraid a woman would come in who just wanted the man who didn't want the family, and she called it. I think the can was already open, though. I think the can opened the second Cody laid eyes on Goblin. So for the first activity, Nancy and Pat and the Browns head to a meditation in nature. Cody says he feels it's a hippie experience and he makes light of it. He's joking about buying crystals and getting in touch with the earth like it's a joke. And Christine makes it clear that whenever Cody mentions the word hippie, when he acts like this, they all cringe. So the wives are taking this experience seriously. I feel that the OG3 are taking this seriously. You can tell they genuinely want good relationships with Cody, good relationships with each other. And Cody, in my opinion, is going into this like it's a joke. And I think he's assuming that there's nothing wrong with him, of course, and his wives are the ones who need fixing. Let's remember, Robin was going into this already with fear, mentioning how the therapist needs to gain her trust. And Cody assumed a strong, educated, professional career woman might be a feminist who assumes he is the problem. So the two with the biggest problematic personality traits and the toxic behavior are going into this knowing the therapist will read them like a book, already feeling intimidated. This is going to be interesting. So Cody and the Browns and the therapist are doing this meditation in nature. And Cody explains that meditation is all about inner peace, regardless of whatever poop storm is going on, like your business issues or stress, or like he says, stress from multiple wives. What about the stress Cody causes them? I wonder if Cody considered their stress being married to him and the added stress they endure emotionally as plural wives, sharing a husband while also raising a house full of kids. Now, Cody makes everything about him, of course. This is about his stress, his burden having multiple wives. You know, during the meditation, what I found karmic was the ants attacked Cody. There are 7 people there. There are ants all around, and ants attacked Kotek specifically, in my opinion, because karma. Personally, I love meditation. I meditate from time to time. It can really change your mindset and your mentality and your energy. It could be a wonderful thing. Now, Janelle really liked meditation. She was grateful. She really enjoyed it. She was always curious about meditation, so she was really glad to try it. And Christine enjoyed the meditation as well. Meditation is awesome. Of course, I agree. It's amazing. Now, next, the Browns, Pat, and Nancy gather to discuss their assessment results. And Nancy tells Mary that she has strong traits that others in the family don't have. She says Mary is an 8, Mary is a reformer, and she is driven to speak truth. Nancy says Mary can be brutal at times, and she is more intense. She's more intense of a person than anyone else, and she feels things very overwhelmingly. Her emotions are overwhelming. She feels in a very overwhelming way. And hearing this, Mary felt seen and recognized and understood, because when she hears this, she starts crying. Robin comforts her, and this really resonates with Mary. Pat adds that having Mary engaged in really painful conversations, it can make Mary feel very deeply, and she can feel like she doesn't know how to get to the other side, but then she always gets through. So at this point, Mary breaks down and she says she fights with everything that she is to have to act differently to make things more comfortable for everyone in the family. Basically, it takes everything in her to not overreact and to react less to her emotions in such a strong way with everyone in the family to keep the peace. So to keep things comfortable, it takes everything in her just to act differently, because her instinct is not to act the way that she tries to act. Now, Cody doesn't make things more comfortable for anyone in the family, of course. Cody reveals he doesn't plan on changing how he deals with each wife. He doesn't plan on catering to what works best for their personalities. He doesn't plan on changing a thing. I think it would be far too inconvenient for Cody to do anything to change or to make any effort. But Cody says at least this gives him empathy. He says they all have to have empathy. They all have to be patient with it. Now, Nancy stops Cody when Cody says this, and she tells him he was putting Mary down in how he said that. And Cody says it wasn't specifically about Mary. He was talking in general to all his wives. And Cody gets pissed here. Cody looks angrily at Nancy, like if looks could kill. And in confessional, Cody says this was supposed to be light and Nancy made it personal, when he should be just getting advice and training at this point. It shouldn't be so personal. So Cody didn't like being called out. Now, Nancy suggests to Cody empathy. She asks Cody, what if he were to take the parts of his wives that are different from him, feeling what it's like for them, feeling empathy, what it's like to be the other person. And of course, Cody has no idea how to even go about feeling empathy. It's not intuitive to him. Right off the bat, Nancy knows that's the problem. Robin adds that she didn't like this session with Nancy. She didn't like it, and she feels Nancy was aggressive. Robin says Mary was crying on the couch, and then Nancy went after Cody. So Robin really isn't liking anyone calling out her man. Robin tries to deflect and move Nancy away from Cody. So Robin throws out that it's not just Cody, it's with each of them. It's with Cody with each of them. It's with each of them with each other. It's all of them with each other. Robin wants Nancy off Kotex. Nell doesn't think Nancy was aggressive at all. Janelle thinks Nancy was assertive, that Nancy is doing the job she is there for. See, Janelle knows Cody is a majority of the problem, Robin is a big part of the problem, and that Nancy is really getting in there and doing the work, and that Nancy is intuitive and she sees the problem right off the bat. So of course, she knows Nancy's doing her job, and Robin is going to take that as an attack, that Nancy's aggressive, Nancy's this big bad monster, and Janelle is saying, no, fuck off, she's doing her job. That's what she's there for. Now, right off the bat, I think Nancy could tell that Cody's the star of his own show in his head, and that Cody lacks empathy. I think she knew what the problem was right away. And Cody complains that it's an accusation and he doesn't feel like his wives are all investing in each other. Nancy tells Cody to ask his wives rather than to assume that they are not invested. And Robin jumps in to tell Nancy that they are all far more invested in their relationships with Cody than they are in their relationships with each other. Robin wants the focus to be the wives. Cody wants the focus to be the wives. And Nancy, of course, knows Cody needs to be addressed. Robin is trying to make the session more about the relationships among the sister wives than the relationships with Cody and his wives or Cody's behavior and personality traits themselves. And I think she can see that the therapist knows Cody and she possibly are the problems. And I think she is really trying her best to divert from that, of course, the good customer service. Now, Robin goes on that they deal with each other in family settings. They're cordial with one another, but as far as intimate emotional relationships, they're all lazy. They avoid those. So Nancy asks if it's fair to say to make this all work, the Browns would have to have a significant increase in commitment to all of these relationships in the family, not just their relationships with Cody, but their relationships with each other as sister wives. Nancy adds that they are meaning authentic relationships, not just being cordial and polite, scratching the surface, coexisting. She is meaning when she says relationships, authentic, deep relationships, getting to the root of the issues. And Janelle adds that she herself is happy to be separate. She's still a team player, but she doesn't feel that invested in the whole thing. She likes her separate little life. Now, Cody feels like he's the only one always doing the emotional, heavy lifting in the family. Of course, he's the victim. He's the savior. He's the one making all the sacrifices, but he never looks at anyone else. He never could put himself in anyone else's shoes and see the emotional heavy lifting and the emotional roller coaster rides his wives have to take raising these kids, living in this plural family, being married to a man like him. I wonder if he thinks about that heavy emotional lifting. Next, the Browns take a break from therapy and they take a hike together. And Nancy is watching the wives bond and Cody bond with his wives. She's watching them hike and take photos. And Nancy says it was the first time she saw the family connect together. So next, it's day 2 of the retreat, and Robin is nauseous, so she isn't participating. And she hasn't let Nancy know she doesn't plan on being there. She just decides not to show up because she's rude as fuck. So we learn that Nancy actually had plans where all 5 adults have to be there to participate. So Nancy has to shift plans to adapt to Robin not being there and Robin not letting her know ahead of time. So the 4 adults who are participating head to the campground to meet a spiritual teacher. Cody doesn't mind the spiritual teacher. He says he's in the weirdest religion you can imagine. So when people are earthy, when they're hippies, he says he is tolerant of them. Yeah, he's tolerant of them, but he was making fun of it earlier. Now, Cody says he's open to hippies, but of course, let's not forget, he's cool with hippies, but he fears feminists, right? Next up, Nancy visits with everyone individually to have one-on-one sessions to get a better estimate of where everyone is at. And she meets with Janelle first. We learn Janelle is committed to the family. She's not going anywhere. She doesn't know where she fits, and she knows she has changed and her personality is different than it was. So Janelle doesn't know how to bridge that to the next level. So Nancy asks Janelle if she can be this honest with Cody and with her sister wives. And Janelle says she could be this honest with Cody, she can be this honest with Christine, but not so much with Robin or Mary. Janelle adds that over the years, she's had to get used to Mary's personality. It wasn't easy. There's a lot of water under the bridge. So she and Mary are still actively working on things. So next, Nancy talks with Mary. And Mary says the hardest part for her is trusting that everyone in the family, that they all of the adults, want to really work on all of their relationships. And Cody tells Nancy he thinks his wives all want to work out a relationship with him. And he wants to work out a relationship with each of his wives. But he isn't positive how much each of his wives wants to work out a relationship with each other. In my opinion, if the wives don't have solid communication and solid relationships and secure marriages with Cody first, and good energy and good support there in their marriages, individual marriages to Cody, there is no way the sister-wife relationship can work out. So it takes the relationship with Cody being strong for the sister-wife relationship to possibly even be functional, in my opinion. Next, Robin meets with Nancy, and she says she lived monogamy before she chose to live plural marriage, and she chose to live plural marriage for a reason. So Robin says, as much as they live close to each other, living in this cul-de-sac, they could easily choose not to interact that often. And Robin says she doesn't like that. She did not sign up for that. And Christine thinks they're afraid to start with the mission statement. Christine's main objective, what she wants, is this mission statement. And Janelle says she poo-pooed the mission statement because she thinks it's all drama. And Christine explains to Nancy that they had family meetings to do the mission statement, but at those meetings, they really don't accomplish anything. So Christine wonders if it's because she doesn't have a clear, concise view of what the family mission statement should even be. Christine doesn't think she should be the one to write anything down on her own until they start doing it as a family. And Christine really puts a lot of sentimental value and meaning into this mission statement. Now, Cody tells Nancy, when they were new in plural marriage, it was tumultuous, it was a struggle, and he explains they have all of this baggage that they brought, and they built all of this together, and they made baggage as they built stuff. So Cody sees hurdles to overcome, and he tells Nancy the family mission statement leads to a plan, the plan their family has because they're in these new homes to do this recommitment ceremony where they inaugurate the mission statement. Now, Mary is asked about the mission statement by Nancy, and Mary says because of the past and history, she is really hesitant to speak. She's hesitant to use her voice too much, to speak up on the mission statement. Now, Nancy asks Mary if she wants to answer the question of what she would be afraid she would do if she spoke too much. Like, what would happen if she spoke too much? So Mary cries and she says it's stupid, and she explains it's been an emotional week. And Mary says she is afraid if she spoke too much, if she said what was on her mind, she would be overstepping her bounds. What's sad is Mary is afraid if she communicates, if she is open with her thoughts and ideas and emotions, if she uses her voice with her husband, Cody, she will be ignored. She will be dismissed. She will be invalidated. She will become inconvenient to him. And she knows then Cody will distance himself from her more than he already is. Mary can't be open or honest with Cody. Look at what happened at Lakai. Mary poured her heart out. She explained to Cody what it feels like to be a plural wife, to have that reoccurring jealousy, that insecurity. And Cody wasn't able to have an ounce of empathy for her. He wasn't able to put himself in Mary's shoes. Instead, he completely shut Mary down, and he made her seem like she really put him out and like she really inconvenienced him. He is her husband, and she knows he refuses to hear her or see her or understand her. And she knows he doesn't give a fuck about her. And she knows how cruel he can be, like melting her ring down. And I think she fears if I am myself, if I speak to my husband, he is just going to ignore me. He's going to distance some more. If I am inconvenient for him, he will abandon me more. So she zips it. How suffocating that must feel to live like that. Not just for Mary, but for Christine and Janelle as well. To have the person who should love you and understand you and know you and validate you the most, your partner, not even see you, not even give a fuck, put themselves first. How lonely that must feel. How suffocating that must feel. How hopeless. Next up, Nancy does a sculpting exercise with the wives. She has the women sculpt themselves standing where they think they are in relationship to each other now. How close they feel to Cody or how far apart they feel. And then the second part of the exercise will be about shifting the sculpture and making the adjustments of where they would like to be. So Cody has a lot to say during his confessional scene about this exercise. He says Nancy is aggressive, she's a crazy lady, pushing them to the threshold. Now, Cody may say that half-heartedly in jest, but Nancy's not crazy. She's blunt and she's really trying to do her job, and she's trying to get to the root of the issues in a very effective way. And Cody doesn't like that he can't BS her. That's what this is. Now, Cody says he wanted out emotionally. He wanted to get out of the vulnerability. And he felt that this exercise made his wives feel vulnerable too. You're supposed to feel vulnerable. It's therapy. Janelle dreaded the exercise because she felt it would get way too honest. Afterwards, Janelle felt good with the honesty. Janelle is practical. Janelle's intelligent. Janelle probably really appreciates just being real. Now, Robin didn't feel like the exercise was safe. She didn't like the exercise because she knows she's the favorite wife. She knows she gets most of Cody's time and investment at this point, and that's why she's uncomfortable with it, with the honesty of this. Christine saw this exercise as the worst part of the trip, and she was the one positioning herself farthest away from Cody. Next, the wives adjust their positions to where they would like to be in their relationships in relation to Cody. Mary adds that they have a goal of where they would like to be, and of course it's all together, having each other's backs all the time and being open and honest and loving and kind with everybody. Mary says that's their goal. They're nowhere near it at this point though. So Robin sees the adjusted positions of what the ideal relationships would be. She says she sees it as all being equal and everyone being important. And she adds that unfortunately, they drag Cody into their sister-wife relationships. Cody and Robin are always chomping at the bit to make it about the sister-wife relationships rather than Cody and each individual marriage with Cody and then the sister wives getting along. It's only all about the sister-wife relationships because Robin is there so that the therapist can adjust the sister wives relationships with her. And Cody is there so that the therapist can get the other wives to give Robin more deference, basically. That's why I think they're there. Now, Robin takes this time to say that the sister wives triangulate Cody. They drag Cody into the sister-wife relationships. So my question is, the sister wives drag Cody or she specifically drags Cody to triangulate him in her relationships with her sister wives? Which one? Because as we have learned from later seasons of the show, Robin is the wife who tries to use Cody to force the women to treat her with more deference. She is the one projecting, and in my opinion, she is the one who drags Cody in, who uses Cody to try and manipulate his wives into kissing her ass some more. One example of this is when Robin wanted to be closer to Janelle, and she tried to have Cody tell Janelle about all the bad experiences that she had with Christine so that Janelle might move away from her relationship with Christine, who was at this point leaving the family. And the end result Robin wanted was for Janelle to be closer to her and for Janelle to ditch Christine. Now, we also see Cody using sex as a bargaining chip with Christine in exchange for her being nicer to Robin. So Robin, in my opinion, is the one dragging Cody into her relationships with her sister wives. But I have yet to see an example of Christine, Janelle, or Mary doing that behavior. Now, Nancy says it doesn't work to put someone else at the center of a relationship. She adds that a healthy relationship means dealing directly with the other person and not asking someone else to fix it. I found this very interesting because what language does Robin speak that nobody else in the universe speaks? Remember, she speaks Cody, and she initially tried to get involved in each relationship as a mediator when Cody would speak to a wife or when everyone was talking. What would Robin do? She would act as an intermediary. Oh, come to me. I'm good with communication. I'm good with mediation. Come to me. I'm the family counselor. come to me, I can speak Cody. She put herself between the relationships and triangulated herself in, not to help, to manipulate. And what did Nancy just say? It doesn't work to put someone else at the center of a relationship. In a healthy relationship, you don't triangulate. Both parties directly deal with each other. There is no middleman. And Robin was always thirsty, as we recall, to be the middleman. She spoke Cody. She should be there. She should be there to communicate. She should be there to facilitate with Cody's relationships with his kids, with Cody's relationships with his ex-wives. Robin was chomping at the bit to be the middleman, to be the therapist, when she's the most toxic of the group, next to Cody. Christine wants to know why Cody doesn't just stand in the middle of all his wives. And Cody explains, if he's in the middle, then he becomes each wife's sole focus. He says their connection to each other would have to go through him, and that cannot exist. Cody says they aren't truly a family unless upon his death they stay a family. Are they a family when the husband in the plural family says, my family, my wives are the obstacles to my goals in life, his goal in life of monogamy? Cody is the one who destroyed his family with his mindset, his mentality, his attitude, the way he thought of them as obstacles. And here Cody is saying, well, when I'm out of the picture, you're not truly a family unless you stay together when I'm not there. But does he really ever want his family to stay together when he's the one viewing them, referring to them as the obstacles to his goal in life? Cody talks a really big game. He's all hot air, empty words, but you never really see any action. Cody has to know that his wives aren't going to have good relationships with each other unless he is doing his damnedest to make sure he's communicating and in a good place and having good relationships with each of his wives. It's never going to work if he has a good relationship with one wife over here and one wife over here and horrible relationships with the other two, that all the wives are going to get together and love on each other and be kumbaya. On what planet does that work? Cody asks if he wasn't in the family, if this picture would stay, this amended sculpture of Cody and all his wives together. Cody insists he can't be the common denominator and the only common denominator between his wives. He says the relationships for each of his wives have to be strengthened. That's Cody's priority because it deflects from him working on himself and the therapist reading him like a book. He says that's his main priority, the relationships of his wives being strengthened, which they can't be strengthened unless Cody strengthens the relationship with each of his wives. Now, Cody asks Christine if she has a relationship with her sister wives. And Christine says it's an as she needs it relationship, but she interacts more with Janelle because their kids do things together. With Mary, not as much. And Mary adds that she is in a different place than anybody else in the family as a soon-to-be empty nester, the only soon-to-be empty nester in the family, because Cody really isn't going to be an empty nester. Now, Cody says that Mary being in a different place than anybody else in the family doesn't have to separate Mary from the family. Cody feels Mary can choose to be a part of the family regardless, so it's her choice to be integrated into the family. It's not that simple when everyone's in a different stage of life. And the kids connect the sister wives to some extent and raising the kids. Mary's an empty nester and she's not even having her husband to share that experience with. And she probably feels isolated and alone. It's not on Mary choosing. It's on the family being really inclusive with her, including Cody, instead of Cody distancing himself and abandoning her, emotionally especially. Now, Cody tells Mary she can have relationships with each one of her sister wives independent of him. And he wants Mary to have those relationships. He wants all his wives to have those relationships. And Mary says she does have those relationships. Not really. To this day, Christine doesn't trust Mary or feel safe with her. And Janelle is still very hesitant about Mary because of her overbearing personality and her controlling behavior when the family began. Now, Cody asks Mary if she has good relationships with her sister wives, if she likes them, if she likes her sister wives, if she likes those relationships. And Mary says in some cases she does. Robin says they have this group, these times when the 5 of them are completely in sync, and those times are magical. So Cody decides to have his wives and him embrace each other, with everyone having their foreheads together in a huddle. Through tears, Mary says, sometimes that circle is strong and sometimes it breaks apart, but they know what they want. They all agree. They all want a connection to each other. Next up, Nancy has the Browns write words on blocks that represent the family mission statement. And Christine really loved this exercise in particular. They wrote down words like faith, love, forgiveness, things that are important to them. So the Browns then take the blocks with the words on them and they build a puzzle with the words. And Mary says the family works together and they have the same end goal, but sometimes they just have different ways of going about it. So they put the blocks together and Cody says that God is at the top, and through that they get spiritual enlightenment. And Mary says she likes that all the different qualities envelop the word family at the center. The word family is the center block. Cody says it's taking chaos and making order. He says their family is like that. It's making order out of chaos. Robin likes that their design, when they put all the bricks together, it's not a perfect square since the family doesn't fit in a box. Janelle was surprised. She had strong opinions with this exercise, and she elects to change the design, to change the position of the blocks. So Janelle changes the picture. She doesn't think it needs to be balanced necessarily. She thinks their faith in God created their family, and they teach love, and they teach respect, and they teach honor. And Christine is moved by this exercise. She is glad these changes are coming and that the statement exercise looks good. They've made progress on the mission statement. So Cody thinks overall Sedona was good. It challenged them some. Some of the experiences were challenging. Some were peaceful. There was some awkwardness. But overall, he thought it was helpful. Christine is glad that they finally started the mission statement. Cody knows it won't be easy, but he feels progress will come from this. Robin isn't down for Nancy. Robin is still hesitant. She says she has to get to know Nancy better, and I think she fears Nancy will read her to be the master manipulator she is. Robin says she's hesitant because Nancy hasn't had experience with a plural family. Nancy's a monogamist, and she isn't sold that Nancy can help. Christine takes a photo with everyone's feet with this block design that they made around their mission statement exercise to represent their journey and their steps that will make this happen. Overall, Cody appreciated the traction they got with their family mission statement from Nancy and the Sedona trip. And Cody says, having moved into their new home, starting a new life in Vegas, they really want to reunite the family with this recommitment ceremony and with the family mission statement. Janelle says she sees a vague direction for the family to go, and now they need a plan, and she feels there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered. I personally think everyone knew at this point in the back of their minds that they could never recapture the functional days of Lehigh pre-Robin. And I think everyone, especially Christine, is investing so much in this mission statement because it represents what they wish they could get back that was never found again. The days when things were more functional, when everyone was more connected, when things were less toxic, when Cody did his best to be fair and equal. But unfortunately, despite the hope in the future, things just continue to devolve for the family as Cody increasingly focused on himself and Robin over the family. That does it for this episode. I'll be back next week with the next episode of my Sister Wives Rewatch, Sister Wives Season 6, Episode 11, Sister Wives Tell All. That should be interesting. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.